Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone and slow age expert. So what is a joint made of? Well, it depends on the type of joint, but we're going to look at these synovial joints, which the body has most of. About 80% of the joints in the body are synovial, and they have lots of different parts. And what I want you to understand here is that there can be problems in all the different parts or one particular part. And this is why I keep saying that diagnosis is essential. You need to know which part is not functioning as well as it should do, so your treatment can be more specific. So these synovial joints will have a joint capsule. So around the two bone ends, or however many bones are involved, there will be this sort of fibrous capsule which surrounds the whole joint. And on the inside of this little fibrous capsule is what we call the synovial membrane, which is why they're called synovial joints. And this membrane produces lubrication. So it's going to produce hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid is this amazing moisture molecule. And yes, we use it in our skin, ladies, but it's also in the joints. So it's all to do with estrogen as well, isn't it? So this is why ladies, as we go through the menopausal years and we lose our estrogen, things dry out. And one of the things that dries out is our joints. And we start to get joint pains and stiffness. So there's not necessarily anything else wrong with the joint. It's just that it's drying out. We need some more synovial fluid, as in we need some more hyaluronic acid. So typically replacing some estrogen actually has an amazing effect on the joint dryness and therefore the joint pains. So there's going to be some cartilage. So it's called hyaline cartilage, and this covers the ends of the bone. So the two bones are joining and they are covered with some cartilage. And this is where the wear and tear comes in, doesn't it? So we tend to wear a little bit of this cartilage, or do we? Or is it just because the joints are drying? That's why I keep saying diagnosis is very, very important. So this cartilage is protecting the bones against each other so you don't get too much of the wear and tear of the bones. And then some of the joints, for example, like the knees, they have meniscus cartilage. So there's an extra bit of cartilage between two of the bones, which is cushioning even more, protecting even more those bones, because possibly because of there's an extra mobility in these joints. The knee joint is quite mobile, isn't it? Yes. So then you've got ligaments. So ligaments, very important ligaments, they're connective tissue which join the two bones together, or the bones together, but they also support the joint capsule. So they're trying to protect you over moving or overextending or over bending your joints. That's what they're important for. Then we've got things called tendons. So tendons are what attaches the muscles to the bone, and the tendons, the pull on the tendons on the bone will actually create the movement, yeah? And they can also support the joint capsule and support the stability of the joint so you don't overextend or you don't overbend and that kind of thing. And then we've got something called bursa. So bursa are these sort of little fluid-filled little sacs which can be in some joints or around the joints where they're placed between some of the tendons and the bone to give an extra cushioning so we don't get pain when we move the tendons. And we often see this around the shoulder joints, don't we? So basically that is what your synovial joint is made of. And as I said, you can have problems in one of those areas and you can have problems in several of the areas, but your treatment regime will be based on where the problem is. So this is why diagnosis is so important to discover. Is it just simply that your joint is drying out because you're menopausal? If that is the case, then you need to make sure you get some more synovial fluid, such as getting some estrogen replacement therapy so you can produce more hyaluronic acid, or with some of the joint problems, especially knees, where the doctors are actually injecting hyaluronic acid into the joints. Very interesting, isn't it? Yes. So check it all out. There's an article there, other videos as well, and get to know everything you need to know about joint health. Happy hormones, happy life.